Honestly, I think it just different situations that came in while I was in the industry. I never refused rather any opportunity that came in my way, and as the opportunities came in and we achieved our goals, there was a confidence that just came in. If I could do well for companies with whom I worked, I could perhaps do the same if it is in my own company. I thank my partners who trusted me and joined hands with me to start this venture. I had spent almost 20 years in the pharmaceutical industry, and I was quite satisfied playing my roles. It so happened that family circumstances forced me to come back to India. I was then working as a general manager of a pharmaceutical company in Africa. So when I came back, there were two options: either to join a company here and continue my professional career, or pause and start a new business. India was anyway looked as the supermarket of pharmaceutical business of the world. So I thought, why not try this shot? I started with a sales and marketing company in Africa, and as we grew well with this company, we thought of backward integration. We thought if we have our own manufacturing unit, perhaps we could get a better mileage out of it. And that being the case, I spoke to a few friends of mine who were also in the pharmaceutical business, and we groomed this idea. Each one of us have different experiences in this industry, and with that idea, Novagen was born. The first thing that I did was I informed my family that I'm going to start a new business and I will not be available for the next 2 to 3 years. The business is going to keep me busy. And of course, I also cautioned them that we need to be quite prudent in our expenses. Maybe we will have to trim down on our holidays, or maybe we would be prepared not to even have holidays till the business catches up. We debated amongst ourselves within the partners and also our consultants, and at that point of time it was felt that starting a privately limited company is the best option. So Novagen is a privately limited company. We pooled in our own savings first, and we also borrowed from our own relatives, and then we looked at options available like the private bank, the public bank, cooperative banks. However, we realized that since this project was a greenfield project, the banks weren't very, the private banks weren't keen to fund this project. So we had to approach a nationalized bank, and they funded the project. A significant factor was the location where we should be starting our plant. So considering all the options available, we felt Baroda at Gujarat is the right place to start, because everything right from raw materials to spare parts, change parts, machinery parts are all locally available immediately. So that helped us in identifying the location and going ahead with it. Of course, there are quite a number of schemes and subsidiaries offered by central government, state government, and we studied all that, and we found Gujarat to be the best option. To begin with, we started our operations from our homes, and then we moved to the site when the site began. Sometimes we work from our partners' offices, and later on, once the factory was ready and we wanted an office in Mumbai, we rented out an office. During this entire period, let me tell you, none of us charged for the time that we spent, nor did we charge any rentals for the office space used, nor did we buy a vehicle. We used our own vehicle, we used our own fuels, etc. So that saved a lot of our funds. Oh, that was not at all difficult for us, because we partners ourselves were the first clients. All of us had different companies in different countries, so we ourselves were the first clients. And since all of us have spent more than 20 years in the industry, we had a good number of acquaintances who were just ready to help us. So that was a very smooth flow for us. Competition, yes. We say that every day there are 2 manufacturing plants which crops up in Baroda itself. And as I said earlier, India is a supermarket of the pharmaceutical industry. So across the country, I think every month there are 10 new manufacturing units which is being set up. So yes, we have razor cut competition in the market. However, we know the requirements, we know what the industry lacks. So when we started being a new company, we had the best of the advantages in terms of the layouts that is required. We knew what are the new norms which is set up, because in the pharma industry the norms keep changing, the US FDA guidelines keep changing, the WHO GMP requirements keep changing. So we could update ourselves and we could incorporate all that into our plan. So we could boast of our plan being the most modern as per the guidelines of the WHO GMP. So that is helping us as an advantage over the other manufacturing units. And then we look at very niche products which is manufactured in a different way and which has a added value to the end customer, that is the patients. So product selection also is very important. We have our own F&D department which continuously is researching and developing new products which we later on commercialize. This is a very good question because I hear the startup aspirants quite common nowadays. My say on this would be that you get into a business of which you have a thorough knowledge. Don't get into a business which you think that you can make money and which you have no knowledge about, because you'll spend the next 3-4 years only learning the business. So you have to be prepared that once you start a new venture, you will not earn a single rupee for the next 1000 days, which is a reality. Immerse yourself and contribute the fullest in the first 2 years of your business, because that business needs your time. It needs you fully. You might have to compromise a lot on a family events, your occasions, your vacations, but that is an investment. Your company needs you. Your new venture needs you. It's very, very important. You have to master every aspect of it. You have to be very prudent on the costs. You need to be prudent on the expenses that is happening. You need to be very much involved in selecting your people. You cannot just depend on the others or situations to take care of it. You need to have a control about the situations. All the more if you are transiting from being an employee to become an employer. Please mind you, that's a very big mindset that you have to move in. When you work for an organization, you are already working for an established organization. So all the pride that you have got and all the budget that you have for spending is because of the company which has already become big and you're working with. tomorrow when you are starting your own company, all that flair around you will go, and you should be prepared to work within that minimum budget. That's very important. You must be clear about the capital that is required, the regulatory challenges that you have, the freebies announced by the government, the new technology that is coming in. You should have a very clear understanding of what is happening with your customers. Competition is again an area which you cannot miss out on. So you need to be very alert on all these things, especially the new rules and regulations set by the government. I think challenges, we are all born and we should be prepared to meet challenges every day. It is like a soldier who is on the front. He has his own equipment. He doesn't know what ammunition is your opposition or your enemy going to charge you with. But you are mentally prepared. He is mentally prepared and physically prepared to face it. So is it in our line also. In our business, we have challenges both external and internal. You could be faced with, you have the best of the plannings, you have the best budgets laid down, and suddenly you realize your head of operations just resigns. So what do you do? So these kind of challenges are there. In our case, yes, we had a very typical challenge which many of us have just witnessed recently. We started our operations and the commercial production has just begun, and we were all waiting to see how the company takes off. Within 2 months of our commercial production, COVID came in, and that was a big blow. We were not prepared for COVID, let me be very honest. First, the news itself came as a blow because international travel there were a lot of limitations to international travel. In our case, because our factory was built for export based business, our factory was supposed to be inspected by a number of inspecting agencies from different parts of the world. So nobody could come in, and that gave us a setback to our process of registration of new products, GMP approvals from various countries. So the business couldn't take off, number one. So also a good number of employees couldn't come to work, so that affected our production. Our entire budget and planning went out for a toss. So we had to face it, and now it's after 2 years that we are trying to consolidate back of what we lost. So yes, we have challenges. We started with minimum number of people, but we focused that this minimum number of people who were to be future HODs are multitasking professionals. And we also hired a lot of young trainees, basically to keep our costs low. Be a good listener. You must be very good in your observation, and please listen to your people on the floor, on the mechanics, on the workers who are working on the machines, and your salespeople who meet your direct customers. They are a treasury of information for you. They give you the best feedback, and this feedback is what is going to help you a lot. The market is very dynamic, so one needs to be having a knowledge of the geopolitical aspects of the market, because that contributes a lot to your thought process when it comes to expanding, when it comes to starting new ventures, rather even launching a new product, the timing of a launch of a product, etc. See, if you are in the industry as I was, it always helps that you know people. However, if you are venturing into a new business, you hire a person who has got a rich experience in that line, and allow him to do what he is supposed to be doing, give him a free hand, and over a period of time the trust just sets in. Once the trust sets in and you are quite confident that the person whom you have hired is good, is quite matured, and he can call the shots, allow him to hire people, because he would definitely pick up people who would suit into the right job that you are looking for. And I'm sure it is the trust and the connections which multiplies. So I think that's how a trustworthy company could be built in. When it comes to winning the customer's trust, first and foremost, be genuine in what you commit. Getting orders is not difficult. It is all about executing the orders, and that too on time. So quality of the product, delivering the product on time, at the right place, with all the committed features, is something which you need to be very particular about. Once your customer is satisfied, then I'm sure by word of mouth itself this kind of information is spread in the market. And secondly, when it comes to vendors, and when you are into a business, I'm sure you'll have quite a good number of vendors with whom you deal day in and day out. The vendors also want good partners. So please see that you select the right vendors. You don't compromise on the cost that you don't compromise on the cost when it comes to vendors, because many a time it so happens that you force your vendors to compromise on their quality, and then comes a tussle at the time of payments, etc. Please see that you keep your commitments of payments to vendors also on time, because vendors are an equal partner of your business. The entire chain of delivering your product would be disturbed if your vendors don't supply on time. So there has to be a good relationship built on trust primarily between the vendors, yourself, your employees, and your customers finally. Do not fear to venture into to become an entrepreneur. If you have an idea, work on it, explore it, present it very well, and be ready and very open to all the feedbacks that you get on it. There will be changes. Be open for the change. Change is an opportunity. Work on the changes and exploit it to its fullest potential. Mentally, if you are prepared to become an entrepreneur, I am sure you will culminate into converting your idea into a good product. Success will be always yours. Do not compromise on the efforts required for working towards the business.